Good morning, everyone. Today's Sunday. I hope you're well. Today I decided to do a tutorial on what happens if something goes wrong, if you break a wire, if you don't like the way your tree looks. So I did make this just for that reason. And I'm not going to add anything else here. I'm going to show you a few things, but I'm going to save this tree in case you come across something. You can send me a message, leave me a comment, and I will try to address it on this tree. At the same time, I will have a playlist for that reason, you know, if something goes wrong. So what I'm going to do now, let's just say, for example, you have done this much of your tree. And now what you're going to do, you want to tighten up your branches. You've done a great job. They look good. Okay, so we're just going to tighten them up a little bit. Get in there nice and gently. We're supporting our work. And we're going to hold on to the little leaf like this, like we always do. You're going to do that. And now when you come down here, put a little twist. But something goes wrong right around here. Or here. It doesn't matter. But it looks great. Unfortunately, you broke it. Oh, we broke both. Okay. Right, well, we can fix both. I was planning on fixing one, but yeah, this happens too. I've done that actually. So the first thing you want to do is just take off the broken part from your hoop, okay? And let me see. Grab on a pair of pliers and just remove any wires that are on your hoop. I've done this as well. I've actually taken apart a whole entire project and took a loss on my wires and saved the hoop and the beads. So I'm a pro at this. Maybe not fixing it, but saving my hoop and my beads. Here we go. Okay, so now, geez, that is so unfortunate. How are we going to fix that? I'm going to show you, okay? I'm not going to measure, alright? Now, this is 22 gauge wire. Whatever wire you're using, use the same to fix it. Okay, so let me just, and you don't want to make it too short, okay? So that's just because that's just going to create another problem. We're going to actually, that's wasting my wire. Let's see, like this. We're going to create an entire section, okay? So, and you can also use this if you make, and I've done this as well, a tree that isn't, it just doesn't look good enough, whether you're using 12 wires or you're just using your own method, but it's just not full enough for you. So let's just say you want to add another section. Take a wire and put it onto your hoop. You're going to do it the same way that you've always, the same way that you've started. As you know, or you should know, I like to use a slip knot. If you don't use a slip knot, put it on the way that you normally put it on. And because I have to replace this whole piece right here, I lost 2 full branches. We're going to have to replace both of them. So we're going to put on 2 wires like this. You know, it is unfortunate, but it's more unfortunate that if you would finish your tree, or even just your first section, that you can't fix it. I've done that. So I'm going to show you what to do. First, we're going to put the wires on like this. You're going to learn that working with trees and wire, it is very forgiving if you know how. And I don't always succeed at it, but I've learned a few tricks, and I'll share them with you, because if you don't succeed, I've done something wrong. And if you break something or something doesn't work out, chances are I can help you. So explain it to me, tell me what you need to see, and I will try to recreate it for you, either on this or on something else. So we're just going to make roots the way that they are already, and mine are twisted like that. Now, as you can see, that looks pretty good. We're just going to have more roots, and roots are good. I like roots. So let's just do this first. Okay. Let's see. Slide them down. Oh, that looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we have to make them look like they were there all along. So I can see that I need to put another twist, and just by holding it up I can tell that these ones came from the back of my tree. I'll just put in another twist here and here. I want it to look as natural as possible. Now, had I broken something, say on this side, I would have put the new wire on the same side. And the reason I would do that is because it would be closer. Let me just get that out of the way. Okay, so now that you have your two wires, because we have to replace this entire section, the first thing we're going to do is make them look natural. And because your tree is forgiving, look, put them on. Now I'm coming from behind because that's where this side comes from. The other side, this side here, the wires are in the front. So after I put them on, I would have brought them this way. So let's just concentrate on this. Bring your wire around your trunk like that. Do you see it? Probably not. Not because you can't, I'm not in your view, I think I'm in your face, but because it does blend rather nicely. Okay, so we're going to just do that. Just bring it around. Keep them a little separate. You'll be able to tell. If you need to separate them, do them one at a time. However you find it's going to work best. Sometimes one at a time is good. You'll figure it out. Your tree will let you know where it looks the best. Try and make it look natural. Let's face it, it's not natural, but we're going to make it look as natural as we can. So I had it down there, and that didn't look good. Can you tell right here? Didn't look good. So bring it up a little bit higher. Now you see that falls right into the natural twist. I've already given my tree shape because I didn't anticipate breaking my wire. So now let's bring another one. See if we can't manage to make it look just as natural. Look at that. It does look pretty good. And if you don't like it, just move it. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, it does. And then just bring that one over, just like that. Now we're going to do the next one. I think it is easy. It blends better if I do them one at a time. And to create an entire section is very unfortunate, but oddly enough, it is the easiest way to fix either a branch or a section, because you can blend it in easier than trying to do it on a branch. But I will show you what I have done as recently as now on my project with the double hoop with the pebble wall all around it. The entire back of my tree is short, so I had to buddy up or extend wires to complete my project because I didn't take into consideration I twisted it differently than the first, and I used the same length. But anyway, now that we have added on the roots, twisted it on to our trunk, we have 4 wires. We're going to separate them into 2 and 2. Does that look familiar? It should. support your work right as close as you want to twist. Actually, no, I think we're going to actually go around this. Yeah, you could create a different section for a different reason to fill in a space, but right now we're going to fill in a broken branch. So we're going to continue. Sorry about that. You can do that if you want to add a complete section in between two sections. I'll show you that too if you'd like. Just trying to keep in your view. And that doesn't look as nice as I'd like it. So just mess around with it. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll work, and that's what you want. So I'm going to take these two. I don't want to, I could go right over the top. Whatever looks more natural. You mess around with it. That doesn't look too bad. Actually, it looks pretty good. If you don't like the way that looks right there, go around your branch again. I think I'd rather just do it like that. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. And now, because I can always go back in later on and mess with it, but it looks pretty natural. Probably nobody else will notice it but you. So take your 4 wires, separate them into 2 and 2 like you originally did before. Unfortunately, that wire broke right there. So we'll get to that. You could actually go all the way up here. I didn't cut them long enough, so we're just gonna make this branch over here like that. I'll create a whole section, actually, is what we're doing. Now I'm gonna get rid of this piece where I broke it, nice and close with the flat edge of our wire cutter. Get right in there. You want it to be as clean a cut as you can. As clean a cut as you can get it. And then you want to conceal it. So you have to bend your wires down like that. Use whatever method you have. You can use pliers. Just press them down and just twist it right into your branch. And if that doesn't work, you probably don't use tweezers anyway. Get in there with your plier and just gently, because you don't want to break this branch too, like that. And you really can't notice it. So now you have another entire section, and we're going to twist these like that. So now you have a new section. But I was planning on making them too short. I think I made them too short, guys. That's okay, because we're going to break the other ones too. So, but I still want to fix that just a little bit more, because I can see it. I don't know if you can see this little wire right here. See if I can. For some reason it looks dark to me. I don't know if it looks dark to you. I've got this light on, my round light. Maybe it's not up high enough. I moved it because I keep banging it. Alright, so let's just push gently where I cut it. Just going to tap that in there a little bit. Give it a little turn. I don't want to break the other wire, and I don't want to leave marks too much on my wire. So that'll work for me. And now, I'm unprepared. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's get rid of those. That's for the next break. That sounds crazy, but yeah. Sorry for all that noise. I don't mean to not be prepared. But you know me. I don't edit, so... And you broke a branch, so we're gonna call it even. Alright. Let's get back. So let's say we're working in clusters on this one. And I'm going to add my little leaf. You get 2 lessons here. because I cut them too short. So no matter what I do, they're going to be too short. So we may as well just do what we normally would have done, except for we're going to get them onto the wire. Okay, so I'm going to put my little, these are 4mm, just like I always would do, except for I didn't realize that I was going to break that section. It's so unfortunate. Okay, so now I'm going to just carry on like normal, and I already know this is too short. I don't like it, but let's see what we can do. So we're gonna just use the longest wire, because that's probably the easiest way. That's what we should have done in the first place. Maybe sometimes you don't do it that way, and that's how you end up with a short wire. So now we're going to bead, just like we would ordinarily bead. I'm doing this one with beads. I'm also going to use the seed beads as well, because it does matter on how you fix it. I will show you exactly what I mean by what I mean by that. Okay, so let's see. All right, we're going to call that a little cluster. I'm not going to try and put another one there. Or should I? Actually, this one here is going to break. These are my mismatched beads. It has a tiny splinter of a hole. This one here is a good one. And I definitely need another something on that one. Try that. That should work. Okay, so now we're going to twist with the longer wire, because that's just a good habit, so that our wire isn't short. Unfortunately, this wire is too short. Jeez Louise, I don't know what to do. Let's see if we can fix this. So we're going to have to get another piece of wire, okay? It's unfortunate, but let's hope that it comes out okay. I can think of a few ways, because I've had to in my breaking of my projects, on how to fix this. I'm actually not loving how this looks right here, and you know that I am fussy, so let's get in there, and probably should wait. I'm sorry, you know me. Alright, so we can do this a few ways. Sometimes, if you're fortunate, you can get through a bead, right, like this. We'll try it that way first. And then, okay, so we got it through the bead, and then take the wire. We want to conceal it as much as we can. We could just pull it up like that. We could, and that won't look bad. We can cover that up. But let's just see. Let me see what it looks like on the back. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to take the wire and pass it through the middle first. You can actually not even go through a bead if you don't want to. Let's do it this way first. Then we'll do it the other way. Okay, so instead of going through the bead, let's just say that the wire won't fit through a bead. They do on seed beads, actually, as I just showed you. So what we're going to do is take this wire, right, pull it through. I want it to be long on both sides, like that. I really don't want to cut this unless I have to. So let's see if we can just twist this around, just like we did around the trunk. We're going to twist it right around that branch, like that. So now we have two wires that'll reach the hoop and two wires that won't. Now you can leave it like that. That would probably look better, because that's the way we're doing this section. If you're using beads, you can see if they'll work. If you can find beads that'll slide over both wires, you might not. Usually a 4mm bicone or a seed bead is a good start if you're using those, and that slides usually right over two, because I've done this, 2 wires that are 22 gauge, and it's not going to do it. Okay, so let's see. Usually it does. I don't know why that didn't work, but let's say we're doing a seed bead. Slide it down, and because we're working in a cluster, just, I want it to blend as much as I can get it. So now let's get the next bead. We're going to try again with the crystal because it should work, and it does. Okay, so you have to grab both wires like this. I'm looking over and it looks so dark. I don't know. I hope you can see this. Slide them down over both of your wires and just carry on. It's not ideal, but we're working with beads, and they do come in different. The hole is some will fit on 2 wires and some won't. So now let's try and see what we can come up with on the other side. And because I'm alternating, or I can even use another bead. Let's just see if I can find another bead that is within the same size as what I'm using. That won't fit. Let's see if we can find one that will. And if we can't, then we clip the wire. If we have to. I'd rather not. So let's try. We'll put a seed bead over there. Just because I have to save this project. And that bead is broken. Like I told you guys, these are not perfect. These have been picked through my big collection of beads from beads I thought I was not going to use. Okay, so now we have that cluster, right? Now if you want, you can clip the wire or you can twist it like that. And we're going to just carry on like we never broke that. Okay, let's see if we can find a bead that will go over it. Like I said, if you're working with beads, these ones here are really small. If you're working with a bigger hoop, you're probably using bigger beads. I do have bigger beads, but let's try a bigger bead. If I can catch one. Okay. Now let's see if you'll fit on both wires. And you don't. So now I'm going to clip that wire because it's not going to fit. I'm going to get them as close as I can, like that. And now I'm just going to I'm going to just twist it a little bit, try and disguise that little break in the wire. It's not perfect, but it'll work. It'll save your project in a pinch. Now, add some more beads. I'm just going to act like that didn't happen and see if it looks too bad. Sometimes you work it, sometimes you don't. It is definitely worth trying to fix your work. That bead is too big. Try a crystal, a little bicone, and slide them down. Is it still too big? That'll work, I guess. And it's still too big. Let's just put 2. So now, we're just going to bring our wire to the hoop like we always do. And we're going to cross it over. Actually, we're going in the... Are we doing it in the right direction? Don't matter. Okay, I usually wrap it around twice. I only did it once. I don't know why. If I'm only using one wire, I like to wrap it around twice. Yeah. Alright, let's try it again. Okay, wrap it around twice. Actually, we're doing clusters. So I'm going to wrap them together. See, when you do a cluster, I wrap them together, so I have two. See, I'm making mistakes. And when I do them single, I wrap it around twice. I like to have two little wires on my hoop. But anyway, so let's put a little twist in. Slide these down as far as we can. And put a twist like that. Bring it to the hoop. Bring it up. And pass it over. Bring it up and pass it over again. This also doesn't help that it's the first branch. But if it happens, it happens. What are you going to do? Try and save your work. Okay. So now, let's see what we have here. Not with that. I'm going to try and get in here with my needle nose pliers. I'm going to support my work so I don't break it. And I'm going to hold on to it right up at the top. And right where I fixed it, I'm going to give it a little bend. Try and make it look natural. And I'm going to do the same thing on the entire branch. All the way down to there like I normally would. And right here where I don't love it, I'm just going to pull it down a little bit. Lift that one up. Now it doesn't look so bad. Actually it does. So let's see. What can I use? I'm going to use these. You probably can use regular pliers as well. Just want to try and tap it in nice so that it is more undetectable. So whatever you have to do to save your project, you're going to do, because things happen and branches break. So I'm going to just try and show you a few different ways to fix it. Okay, let me see. I think, well, I'm going to leave that anyway. But instead of bringing it up over in between here, I probably would have done better. Let me get my tweezers so I can show you. I'm just showing you that you can start from the bottom. See where I brought it up? That might not look too bad to you. I'm not loving it. I'm going to try and disguise it a little bit more. But instead of bringing it up in between those, because I'm really fussy, actually I could have, instead of bringing it up right here, could have brought it over and then twisted it out. But I'm still not ready to give up on it because I'm not going to waste my project. Sometimes if you just bend your other branches, it helps to make it look okay. So for the sake of that, I think that I've done everything I can. Yeah. I'm going to slide that down. And I'm going to bead this one. Unfortunately, I cut that too short too. So let's see what I can do with that. That was not the plan, but it happened that way. So I'm just going to carry on and bead it. That's a bummer, but let's see. Now find a little bicone, put that on. I just want to keep it in like the same pattern that I've been using. So that's still a little off. Let's see if I can put something else there. I'll try this. Something small. Oops. Okay, so now I'm going to twist it like we normally would with the long wire because we didn't anticipate this coming up short. So let's All the nice little twists. Oh, we're still doing good. We're not short yet. We're going to be, though. So let's put another little cluster on. And we'll put a crystal and a bead. Sometimes it's better if you fix it further down than further up because it's less noticeable. But because we already fixed over here, I'm just gonna, let's see what we can come up with. You know, when you have to fix a branch, every single time it's going to be different. Like I said, I did the entire back row of my project, the double hoop. It's not that far back. It was dated 2 weeks ago, and it says the title is working in the double hoop, and it's like a 1 hour and something. It has a little pink heart and a little trademark. And as soon as that video starts, because I had done all the branches and just left them short, and then went back on the 1 hour and I don't know, longer, and just buddied up wires and just filled in the entire thing. So I'm going to show you the way I did it on that. And that's another way, but right now let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so now we're going to get another piece of wire. Let's see. Where are we? Okay. So one will fit. This one won't. So let's see if we can just replace that one instead of like I did over there. Let's just get one. Look at it. Where are they? Here we go. Cut your wire. And we could do through the center of a cluster again. Sometimes you can go through a bead. Let's see. I don't think we can pass through this one. This is a small bead. No, not that one. Like I said, you're going to do whatever you can to save your project. But if you can't get it through the first bead, and you don't want to go through the center of your cluster, which I really would prefer, we're going to do that right now. Okay, so let's just go through the center. We only have one wire that's short. So let's bring this up. Now, instead of coming over through the where this wire is, let's try in between two beads over here. Let's see if that would. Okay, so you could actually replace both if you wanted to do it that way. What I did on the big hoop, you're going to do whatever you have to do. So let's try that. We've gone into the, but we're not coming out from the top. Let's just cut this off first. Every single time that you have to replace a broken wire, you're going to do whatever you have to fix it. And I can tell you that every time it's not going to be the same, because every branch is different. You can twist them the same, but they're still not the same. Alright, so I don't want to see this. I don't like it. Let's try to just disguise it a little bit. Let's make it not as noticeable. Let's just curl that wire as close and in towards that cluster as we can. Now, actually we can move that wire. It doesn't have to come behind those two beads. No, we'll leave it there. It's alright. So, let's see. The first try for me to do this video was with this tree. I did do it, but my husband called, so I had to, this is also replaced, and I will post that. And now, I got interrupted again. I just want to peek real quick and see what this is. Shop till you drop. On TikTok. No thank you. Sorry. It's okay. You broke a wire and I can't edit. We'll call it even. Okay, so now let's just hang on to our work really, really tight right there, because we have to twist these two as close as we can to the center of this little cluster that we made. So if you want to twist your entire project, whatever you have to do, I prefer to just do it by hand like that. Get it nice and close in there. And now we're just going to bead up that branch, just like we normally would. I think right here I probably would have put a leaf. Don't know how it's going to look, but before I twist it, I'll know. Do I have another bygone? Seriously? Here we go. Okay, so let's put that on. Now, keeping in mind, this is where that little wire is that I curled under. So, I want to use my leaf in the same way that I always do. Maybe I'll leave it even a little bit longer. No, it's not that long. And just curl it in. Oops, I'm going to break stuff. And hang on to your work. Twist with the longest wire. And if I still come up short, I'm going to not be happy. Oops. It's going to spin. But it won't once you connect it to your loop. Now let's just keep going. We have one really long wire and a short wire. I'm not a good teacher. But I'm going to show you how to fix your project. Okay, let's see. Oh, that one went on too. Do we need it? Well, we'll see. I don't know yet. See, some beads just want to go. Okay. Whatever falls on my hoop, right? Whatever falls on my wire. Those are too long. That's too many. So, slide that off. Still too many? No. That'll work. Hang on to your work. Now, with the longest wire, you're still going to do like you didn't break it. You're going to just twist it, bring it to your hoop. Now you still have to support your work, no matter what. Even though you repaired it, you can still break it, so just be careful. Now you're going to break it again. And I can't help you. You have to replace the whole section again. And bring it over. Let's see if we can make this work. Hopefully. I'm not going to undo it, because if you broke a section, it's worth trying to fix no matter what you have to do. So this could work for you or not. Every single branch is going to be different. So now we added this complete section on. We have got 2 branches, and let's see if we can tighten them up. Just support them, tighten them up here, tighten it up there, and slide them up. We could have probably made this a little bit shorter over there. Now if you lace, you're going to go right over it anyway, and it's going to tighten it up. And also if you tighten up your tree like I do, that will also tighten it up. So anyway, I should have not made this so loose and just pulled it over. But you get the idea. You can replace an entire section. So now let's see what we have here. What can we do to this one? Alright, well, we just did a cluster and we replaced a whole section. Let's try a seed bead one. So let's just say that, let's just do this, because actually working the rest, tightening up the rest of your tree will also help you to conceal that, and also tighten up everything. Like if you bend at the end when you shape up your tree, you do whatever you have to do to save your work. So now, alright, let's see. I should just finish these two just to show you that it really won't be noticeable, but I'm just going to carry on to how to fix a broken wire with the seed bead. Let's see. Alright, it's not long enough. Now, what are we going to do? Let's see. Could cut it off, but it's going to take away from the strength of this entire section. You could replace the entire section and just make it extra long and bring it all the way up. Or we can try something else. Let's see, what are we going to do? We're going to get a piece of wire. I'm going to get it long. I'm not taking any chances. Okay, we'll get some more. So sorry. If you guys know me, I tend to be very dehydrated. Alright, let's see. Sometimes with seed beads you can actually go right through a whole row. It's like when I make a flower, I backtrack through a petal. Maybe not. Oh, we got it. Check that out. So, that's always a good thing with a seed bead. Okay? That is a very good thing. Because seed beads, they're very forgiving. So now, let's fix this. We're just going to beat it up. And you're not even going to be able to tell. Here's that one again. I keep coming across this same bead. It's connected, but the holes are in opposite directions, and I just keep dropping it. That's how I end up with all these oddball beads. Instead of taking them out, I just work out of a container and drop it back in. And a lot of them are like that, like the, you know. But anyway, so now take your beads and try and slide them onto both wires. Try and do them one at a time if you have to. Just slide them right down as far as you can. Help it out. There you go. Let's try one more, I think. Bring it up. Like that. Single wire, I like to go twice, just because it's supportive. And when I do two wires, I like to go once because I have just like two on my hoop. So, cross it over, bring it up, cross it over, like that. When you work with seed beads and you break a wire, it's easy. It's an easy fix. If you make clusters with seed beads, it can still buddy up. When I say buddy up, I mean you can go through the center of your cluster, you can go through a bead, and this is 22 gauge wire, 6/0 in size of the bead, and usually you can do it. Now just get right in there and just disguise that a little bit. Nobody will even notice it except for you. Now, with this other wire, wrap it around your hoop, just like it belonged there. Like that. And pass it back down. This wire I'm going to use again to fix something else I'm going to break. I know that sounds awful, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to find ways to fix a broken branch, a broken wire, to add a section if you just want to make your tree a little bit fuller. Okay, so now, let's get all this out of the way. Now we have a seed bead row that is fixed, and if we wanted to add another row. You would not notice this. So I think that's a success. This one here, let's just support that work. And let's finish this one. When you do fix something that is broken, try to keep it unison, like in size of your beads and everything as you've been using, because if you try and change it up, you're going to bring more attention to it. The important thing is that you make it strong, and by that you have to twist tight, and you have to secure it. Can't even get a bead on there. Secure it to your hoop firmly so it doesn't spin around. Why can't I pick up a bead? There we go. Now, see what we can get on this side. Okay, so we have another cluster, just like that. Get in there, close it up, bring it to your hoop, bring it out, like that, cross it over. I hope that I'm in focus for you, or else this video is going to be useless. Like that, bring it up again. Like always, you just, once you make your repair, just try and keep going like you didn't have to fix it. Go to the next branch and just keep going. Okay, so this is the two that we replaced this entire section right down here with 2 wires. That gave us 4 branches. This one here is where we made the little loop, and this one here is where we went through the center of a cluster. Which one works better? From my big tree, the little loop. For something like this, definitely the cluster. I mean, you can't really even tell that that was fixed. It just looks like a thicker branch. So again, it depends on what you're doing. Now, this right here, I don't love it. So we can change it, or we can just, when we lace it, it will definitely keep it from sliding around and it won't weaken that branch. But this one here, see, these are always easy. Now, if you wanted, if you were working with the cluster and you just, well, let's see, let me, I don't know if I want to cut this one short. Alright, let's see what we can do with that. Let's cut this one. We'll cut that short. Okay, so now we're short. Okay, let's find a long piece of wire and see what we can do. Alright, let's see what we have available. Let's move that leaf so we don't break that too. We could do like we did with the seed beads and try and go through wires. We don't have a cluster, so we know we have to find a way. We could go here and try and twist it right onto that. We can do that, or we can go through that seed bead, which would be closer to that wire. So before you make a definitive, just check it out. You have to do whatever you have to do to fix your project. That could work. So let's see. Now you have 2 long wires and 1 short wire. So I'm going to just grab onto these 2, the short one and the long one, and this 1 long wire like that. You see what I did? I just went right over that branch. I'm going to pull that tight, and hopefully it will be tight enough to conceal where I added it. Okay? And put in a few little twists, because that's what we do. We just do that naturally. We put in a twist. Separate our branches, right? So that wire was definitely too short. Let's see if we can't disguise it. That's not gonna, I mean, it'll fit on my wire, but it is not the same as the ones I'm using. Neither is that first bead. The bead is really ugly. Alright, let's take it off. And redo it without it. Just like, you know, always. And find things that fit on your wire. And go all the way to your hoop. Like that. This is not the one that was broken. We did add it on. Around it twice. We added it on through the center. Not through the center, through the side of the branch. Okay. Probably making it look harder than what it is. If I am, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you how to save your work by ruining a tree. Actually, it's created as a learning tree. So now, what we have here is a long and a short. That one didn't fit, so we attached it there. So now we can do one of two things. We can cut it, which I think would make it a little bit weak. So I'm going to put in a few twists like that. I would rather have it strong than spinny like that one, but that was just a totally different way of doing it, cutting and making the loop, as opposed to this one going through the section of a cluster. That's your best option for that one. My big project, I did it that way I just showed you, but I could pull it really tight because it's a big project. So now, just put that down, and we have to disguise it. So let's grab whatever will cover it. I know that a seed bead will. Definitely go over that. So let's try a bicone, and if it doesn't, that's okay. We're just trying. We're just trying to save our work. Okay, so let's just twist that back. I don't want to cut it. I don't have to. And I don't have to. So now, we see the bicone, the seed bead works really well. So let's keep with that, unless I can find a bead that'll work. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to slip on another one of these. Or actually, maybe that one would work. I don't know. Maybe not. But I won't know unless I try, right? So, see if I can slide that on. I don't want to break it, but I would like it to go on nice. I'm going to leave it. It's not all the way down, but no one's going to notice that but you. Or you could have put another seed bead. I think that's fine. You can't see it. It doesn't show. It's strong. We'll find out as soon as we're done, because we're going to bring it up to the hoop and we're going to tug on it and see if it breaks. Because it has to work, right? And it has to be strong. That's broke. Alright, we're already at the hoop anyway. So let's just... Well, that blue bead is big, but that's alright. Ouch. Wrap it around the hoop twice. Just like you would have with the wire. Well, you don't have that short wire anymore. It's concealed. And you made it to your hoop. Is it ideal when you break a wire? Of course not. But you have to do whatever you can to try and save your project. So just when you do it, you want to make it secure. first and foremost. And then you want to bring as least attention to it as you can once you secure it and it's strong. So just carry on. This is the wire that was broke. And we added it on and we fixed it. So this is what we're looking at now. We replaced this section. I don't like this one, but this one is good. Go through the center of a cluster. If you do it on this, do it on a big hoop so you can make it tight. I cannot do anything more with that one. The only thing I could do is when I lace, it will secure it. It'll make it so it doesn't slide around. It'll keep it like that. I could actually lace it and show you. And then it would be fine. But I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do is just like I normally would. Tighten them up. We did replace this entire piece. But we still have to tighten up our branch, right? And that's the one right there where we cut to replace this whole section. So it will give you grief. It's because you cut it. So just if you go to like bend it, try to blend it in. Like that. And then just carry on. I mean, how often do you replace an entire section and broken branches all in one small area? You really don't. So for now, this will be the first video. The second one actually is very beneficial because I did replace all of this. And then I had to shut off because of my phone. But anyway, guys, I hope this helps. I'm going to add this to my playlist, and if there's something particular, if I didn't show you well enough with the cluster on that one, I'm going to actually, should I just do another one with the cluster? Maybe. Let's just do it because I'm not happy with the way that one came out. Alright. Let's just grab, because this wire is long, we're just going to do it as though we didn't anticipate a problem. Okay. So I'm going to put my little leaf there. If you work with seed beads, it is so much easier because, as you've seen, you can usually slide a wire right through. If you're using a thicker wire, like a 22 gauge, and you still can't fix it, and you can't manage to buddy up because the wire is too thick, if you do have, don't go out and buy it because it's not worth it. If you have, which I do, 24 gauge, you can also make a repair with a finer wire. I've had to do that as well. Not on projects. Things that I have sold, I've never actually had to or wanted to repair because those have to be perfect. But in a perfect world, I make a lot of stuff for gifts, especially the bracelet hoops and for like gift tags, stuff like that. You can repair that because no one's going to know, and it's a gift and a gift. So alright, so let's see. I think I still need to put another twist in there. I'm going to make a couple of clusters now, and then we're going to have a wire that is just not long enough. Okay. I'm just doing like I normally would, just because I think that would help you to figure out how to fix your project. Oh, that's 2 crystals. Well, let's put a bead, because that's what I would normally do. Okay, so fit beads. You know, they are slivers and, you know, but most of my projects are made with them for this channel purpose only, to show you that you can make something beautiful. And I think that is a big cluster. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I have to have my wire too short, so let's just make that a little bit shorter. It's still 4 beads. Put in the little twist like we normally would. And let's see. Okay. My wires are getting in my way. I shouldn't be chasing this bead crystal. Okay, so let's see. This one here will reach the hoop, but jeez, look at that. All right, that doesn't reach. So let's see what we can do about that. Let's get a wire. I am wasting wire actually, because these are probably long enough, but I don't want to show you and have it come up short, so I'd rather waste wire, because it's worth your project. If I was doing it on mine, I cut them longer. So what are we going to do here? I'm going to go through this cluster right here, right through the middle, like this, and we're going to get it as close as we can to the wire, like that. You see what I did? It's right there where that twist is, where the shorter wire is. So actually what you'd like to do, because you want this nice and strong, you want to twist that nice and tight. Should do that first. With the short wire, just twist it. Okay, so now your short wire is connected to the one that was long enough. Now you've got 3 that are long enough. So what do we do here? Well, you can do several things. You can bead this one and bead that, or you can carry on like this is just the wires that were like supposed to be there. So take the new 2 long wires and twist them, because you went through the center of your hoop, twist them right down like that. Now put your long wire, or your short wire is twisted on to the one, to that one. So now you've got you've got 3 wires. So let's see. We will try to bead this up and see if we can make it work. We put it through the center of the cluster. We made sure that it was twisted nice and tight, the short wire, to a long wire just for support. And now we're going to just carry on like that didn't happen. Have to ignore it. Make it work. So I'm going to bring that one to the hoop, because this one here is ready to be wrapped. I'm going to pretend that everything is good. And do it again, like always. 2 wires on your hoop. Once you get that wire long enough and it's secure, carry on. The more you mess with it, the less likely you're going to be able to fix it. Especially me, I get distracted, as you know, and that's okay. So, there you go. Now, this is the part that you have to think about. You have the wire that you fell short on, and then you have this one here. So, sometimes, if it doesn't matter to you, you can bead 3. So what I would do first is try and to bead the one with the short wire right here that is twisted onto the long one. And usually a seed bead will work. Now, if you've seen the work that I do, I usually, because everything is a big mix, all my beads are potluck mix in canister, so it's easier for me. Slide a bead over it. If you have a bigger crystal or bead, slide that over it. Stick a bead on there, or seed beads would have covered it as well. The point is, you now have reached your hoop. You've actually got an extra wire. So I'm going to show you what to do in a minute with that extra wire. We're just going to secure this one that was too short, and now it's fine and it's strong and nobody knows but you and me. Let's cut that off. I have a nice mess going here. That's okay. And we're just going to push this down like that and turn it under. So now here's the thing. We have this extra wire and it is serving absolutely no purpose. So you have a choice. If you want to cut it, I would pass it down, turn it around, and cut it down here, because this wire is not going anywhere. Cut it from the back as close to a bead as you can. Or if you don't want to cut it, if you're afraid that you know it could break further, save it. Make it useful. Add a leaf. Add another row of beads. So you have an extra wire. Big deal. It's not a problem. It's a tree. I'll show you. You're not even going to be able to tell. Okay, that's the extra wire. Let's see if we can slide these down. Bring it up. Wrap it around twice like I did on the others, unless they're clusters. They already have two because I bead two wires. That's just the way I do it. I'm just showing you how to fill in a missing section and how to fix a short wire. So this whole entire project here has been redone. The only one I don't like is this one, but if it was for me, I would lace it, or even, like if you're going to give it away, as nobody would know but you. It's all on you. My suggestion is doing it that way with the twisted wire, and then looping it is not an option for a hoop. But I had to try because I did it on my big double hoop. Got to check it out. The first video on there, you'll know right away. You don't have to watch anything. You'll see. That's how I start. I tell you right off. This is. I should actually put that on the playlist. I think I will. I don't know if I did yesterday or not. Okay, so now let's just push that wire down, and now you have created a new branch and an extra. Well, you lengthened your branch. You're going to just support it. Get in there and do like you always do. Just be careful. You can still pull on it. I showed you. Tighten it up. You don't want, like this, a second row of seed beads is totally replaced and it's strong. This right here, who's going to notice that you have an extra branch right there? Nobody. Do you notice? Once you continue on with your project, continue on. It's not noticeable. You fixed your project. So I'm going to leave you with, do whatever you have to do to save your work. Now, I'm not going to get rid of this because this will be my teaching tree. If you want to see me do something else, add a section on this, I can add another whole section. Just say you want to put a whole 4 wires, which is 2 branches, or 4, to add just leaves on both sides, or another whole cluster in leaves. I can do that. I'll show you how. We're going to start the same way we did over here. We're going to start from the bottom. Our tree will be fuller, we'll have more roots, and we'll just follow the pattern on our trunk. So with that, guys, if it's broke, do whatever you have to do to fix it. I gave you a few suggestions. Seed beads are always good to go over a double wire after you've twisted it to another wire, like we did here. A seed bead will always slide over it. If you're working with beads or crystals, just look for a one with a larger hole. Seed beads are always great to have. Throw a few into your project because they're so versatile, and they look really nice. You've seen me do them with let's see, I don't have anything that I can see right now within my reach on my board, but I've used the seed beads with the amethyst and also with the rose quartz. But anyway, so that's my presentation to fix something that you've broken. Alright, my friends, good luck. You don't have to watch this whole video, just fast forward it every single second. If you see something with seed beads, just the whole idea here is just to give you a few pointers. So we're supposed to be short. Well, I'll talk to you soon. See you with the continuation of the project I was recently working on.